Today we're going over the best locations to hunt trophies on Medved Taiga. Since I started playing this game, Medved Taiga has always been the reserve that has given me more problems to find trophies. I always struggled, especially at the start. When I started playing this game, I used to have a really hard time finding good stuff. It was actually the same case for Herschel then, and I'm not saying that now they are easy for me. They are still very tough. They are easily the two most challenging reserves in the game, and the Taiga might actually be the hardest, at least it's been for me, and I used to have a really hard time hunting on it. But over time, I figured the best locations to hunt on this map. There are some really decent locations to hunt pretty much every species. You know, probably more than 90% of my Taiga diamonds were killed on these spots, diamonds and rares too. The first location is one of those spots that not many people know. I mean, it's gonna be unexplored on the vast majority of multiplayer servers. However, it's one of the best lakes to hunt brown bear. It's not that rare to find a 9 legendary brown bear on this lake. You'll always find multiple males on both the left and right side of the lake. If you don't have a diamond brown bear yet, I recommend you to go to multiplayer, then look for a session that is after drink time and go directly to that lake. Eventually, you'll find that diamond right there. Before you go there, make sure to check this lake too and this valley. You have to start on this outpost, check these two spots, and then you go to a location I just mentioned. If you visit these 3 hotspots consistently, there's no way you don't get a diamond brown bear. Okay, so these 3 locations were focused on brown bears, but they are also decent for lynx actually, at the lynx drink time of course. These are decent spots for them, but they are not enough. If you wanna make a good route to hunt lynx, you'll need to visit some more lakes on this area. For big lynx, this bottom left corner is hands down the most consistent location to find big lynx. Especially all these lakes right here, all these little lakes, I really think this is the best area to find a diamond. Make sure to check all these lakes, look for those max estimate tracks. You'll usually find 2 or 3 on this whole area, and then after you finish with this location, I really recommend you to check this frozen river, especially this part because on the other 2 sides there are mostly females. Then I also recommend you to check up here and then this other frozen river as well as all these lakes. I'll be lying if I say that it's easy to hunt lynx, because it's not. It's very important to pay attention to the tracks, because especially on the small lakes, it's hard to spot them, so make sure to pay attention to the tracks and look for those max estimates. Don't forget that this is one of the rarest diamonds in the game, but you will be closer to getting one if you give priority to the locations I just mentioned. And well, there are a lot more spots, because you can find lynx pretty much everywhere, but the spots I just mentioned are the ones where the majority of males are, being the best ones the ones I mentioned first, so you should visit them in that order. A very important thing that you need to know is that there are usually very few servers on Medved Taiga. This means that it's crucial to know as many hotspots as possible for every animal, because a lot of times if you play multiplayer, you'll find a good server at the correct time, and then other players will also join, and of course some of them will go to locations you were planning to visit. So it's very important to have alternatives and to know multiple spots for every species. This is why I leave you this map with all the spots to hunt lynx. The yellow spots are the best locations, and the red ones are not that good. Another excellent location to hunt species like the brown bear, musk deer, and reindeer is this hidden lake and this lake up here. These 2 lakes combined represent one of the best locations on the entire map. And if you also add this lake up here, you'll have a great alternative to the spots I mentioned earlier in this video to hunt brown bear. Here you also have a fairly decent chance to find a big musk deer or big reindeer. It's certainly not the best spot for these 2, but it is quite decent. Here I leave you the map for brown bear, every single location. The next location is actually very famous. Everyone knows this little lake right here is really good for musk deer. It is just great, and if you have the chance, you have to go there. Absolutely. And always, before you go to this big lake, don't forget to check this hidden lake. It can even be better than the other 2 for reindeer and musk deer. I've been in some servers where it's just loaded, and the best part is that people usually forget it is there. And well, if you need a diamond musk deer and a diamond reindeer, these 3 lakes are a must-go. It's the same case for this huge lake. It is also loaded with musk deer and reindeer, and to explore this lake effectively, I recommend you to move far from the shore, outside of that tall grass render distance. This way you can see what's drinking right there. Look all around the lake lake, but make sure to focus especially on the bottom and on the right side of the lake. This lake can also be decent for wild boar, and it used to be great for brown bear and lynx, but now you'll see mostly females. The animal distribution on this reserve has suffered some important changes over the last years, probably to balance the hotspots, because for example the little lake that is very famous, it was also sick for brown bear, as well as the big lake that is close to it. And of course this huge lake also used to be fantastic for brown bear. The only animals that still are pretty much the same are the MUSK deer, the reindeer, and the wild boar. Those still keep the same hotspots. Another fantastic location to hunt MUSK deer is this top coast. Starting around here, here's where you'll start to see a lot of males. All the coast, all the way up here. This is another location you need to know, and of course it'll take you a lot of time to check, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it because it's not only great for MUSK deer, it is also great for reindeer, brown bear, lynx and wild boar, especially this left area, and for moose which are located on this part of the coast. Around here, very decent location for moose, as well as this pond right here. And actually a lot of people hate to hunt moose on this map, but honestly if you need a diamond moose, it's not a bad option to come here, not at all. I would even say that the best hotspot to get a diamond moose on the entire game is on this map. But before we go there, here are all the locations to hunt MUSK deer on this reserve. Okay, so what I think is the best spot to hunt moose on this map, and maybe on the entire game, is this place right here. This frozen area. All the right side up here is usually very good, and then also this part of the frozen river, really good spot. And remember that all the locations I've mentioned on this video are supposed to be checked at the drink time of each species. They are only good on each drink time. Also for moose, these lakes right here, all these little lakes, need to be mentioned. These are all the spots where you can find moose on this map. I'm gonna mention some additional reindeer hotspots. Some of these can be great too. The first of the additional locations are these lakes down here, with a special emphasis on these two lakes. It is quite a decent location to hunt reindeer, which is often ignored by a lot of players. Additionally, these two lakes below the huge lake are also two spots you need to consider while hunting reindeer. Then this lake on the right can also be a decent location. These are all the spots to hunt reindeer. I really think that the key to have a successful hunt on this map is first to be patient, because you'll feel like there are very few males, which is kinda true actually, not many animals in general, and a lot of times you'll have to walk long distances, and you just won't see as many animals as you see on our maps. So if you wanna get the good stuff, the diamonds, you will need to be patient. Keep checking those servers, keep going to these spots. Also make sure to check all these spots on your single player map too, because there could be something good there. And well, apart from being patient, you also need to be willing to check as many hotspots as possible on each multiplayer server you go. You cannot be the guy who only goes to a famous little lake and then leaves. There are not enough servers to do that. And of course you always have the option to grind on your single player map. And well, here I leave you the map with all the spots to hunt wild boar. I really hope this video helps, thanks for watching and see you next time.